Good morning. Good morning. My name is Rosie Thompson, and I am the owner of RKT-LIFE Purpose Coaching. And I come to you this morning. We're going to talk about sounds. In particular, we're going to talk about static, okay? So static is a noise that is very disturbing and piercing, and it's trying to get your attention. It's an unwanted wave, movement, sound, interference, okay? So pretty much static is a disturbance. It is a disturbance. And I'm trying to figure out where to look in this camera. I hope you guys can hear me throughout the live. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, do put those in and I will read them as I see them come through. If you'd like to share out the video, by all means, feel free to do so as well. So again, static, it is an exertion of force. It creates a lack of movement in you, the direction that you're headed in. And it's also an action to bring about a change. And those are the changes that we have to watch for, especially when it's involving static. And we'll talk a little bit more about this static, okay, and how it comes to get on the pathway that you're on to change the direction and the course that you're going. So it is a mixture of sounds and signals, okay? Everything that tries to grab hold to your attention, it doesn't deserve your attention, okay? So we want to be careful with the sounds and the static that is very alarming, very loud in today's society, even in families, in this world. You can go grocery shopping and you can hear a lot of sound and a lot of static, something trying to draw you in and get your undivided attention when really you went there for a goal and a purpose in mind. And so we have to be more intent about what we set out to do, when we set out to do it, and how we're to do it, okay? And so it's about staying focused, staying the course. So I want to ask you a question. What's fighting for the ability to gain your ear and your attention? And when I say that, I want you to keep in mind sound, static, okay? I gave you the reference of static and the different sounds that it comes to disturb your flow. So where does this static come from and what produces static? We're going to talk a little bit about that during this live. Again, to introduce myself to those who may just be tuning in, my name is Rosie Thompson, and I'm the owner of RKT-LIFE Purpose Coaching. You can visit my website, which is Rosie, the letter K, Thompson.com, and I'll go back and add that through. Right now, I do have 4 new package plans for 4 different plans of life coaching, purpose coaching, okay? And you can visit my page and you'll see, yesterday I made a post about those plans and today one will come up as well. But if you're interested in life purpose coaching individually, those plans are only for individual coaching because I do group coaching as well. But if you're interested in individual coaching, there is a 1-month plan, a 2-month plan, and a 3-month plan, and a 6-month plan. And included in those plans, there is a 50% discount, which is noted. The price that is noted does have the discounts included. Also, there is a one-time processing program fee that I've waived. It's free. That was a non-refundable $50 charge that I would charge new clients, but that has been waived as well. So I am taking on new clients, female gender only, adults and teens, okay? So back to the live. So we have to be careful of the things that gains our attention, for all things are not suitable for the cause. So when we talk about the cause, this is something you have to figure out and understand and relate to yourself of what is it that you're doing? What is it you're called to? What is it that you are aimed, what direction are you aimed in to get these desired goals and outcomes for what you're doing? So while you're on this path, you have to be careful of the things that try to gain your attention while being on those paths, because all things are not suitable for the cause. Because what it does is brings a cause and effect syndrome. And what is a cause and effect syndrome? It is something that is in operation as it relates to the cause that you're on. And it comes to affect what you're doing. Anything that is effective, meaning that the outcome, the true nature of the outcome, the desired outcome, it will not happen because there's a cause and effect syndrome that is something that's been brought about. And in this case, we're talking about static, noise, sound, okay? And it comes in many ways. And this is something you have to figure out. What keeps getting my undivided attention? What keeps grabbing hold to my position of where I'm at to bring me off course, okay? Which means things happen because something prompted them to happen. And again, we have to take self-inventory to understand and realize, what is it that I keep missing where it's coming in, me not knowingly or me knowingly knowing that it's grabbing my attention and taking me off course and getting my focus to where it doesn't need to be, okay? Because everything doesn't deserve your attention. Everything does not deserve your emotions, your thoughts, your time, none of that, especially if it's static. And static is an undisturbing noise, a loud sound that comes to interfere, causes interference, okay? So again, what's gaining your attention and should it have your attention? We are living in an attention deficit world. I'll say that again. We're living in an attention deficit world, meaning the world does not know how to keep hold of attention and how the world should flow and function. So there is a deficit of attention in the world already. But I tell you what, just because that may be so and it may be true, it does not have to affect you or me or any of us for that matter. But we have to make sure that we're looking for the signals that are the static, which is a signal that's trying to get us off course, okay? So much has fought for our attention. Stimulus is everywhere. When things gain our attention, we are easily led to other things. So we can be on a pathway doing one thing and then something else grabs our attention or somebody grabs our attention and then we're easily led to something else, okay? Which leaves a deficit in what we are focused and committed to. So what should have our attention? These are questions you have to ask yourself and then be honest in your reply to your own self. Because listen, ain't nothing wrong with encouraging yourself before you start, during, and along the way, and even after, okay? Don't celebrate too soon, okay? And even when you celebrate, don't celebrate too long because that can even become a distraction, okay? So the things that fight for our attention, they may not demand our attention. And those are the things that you don't need to give time to nor the day to. So there's a difference between unwelcome and unwanted attention versus things that we do need to give attention to. And these are things you have to figure out. But if you look at your life and you look at the course and the patterns in your life, because just like the seasons, guess what? Sometimes we can recreate events and things in our lives that causes us to keep going around the same hurdles and the same mountains. So then we got to figure out, okay, what's happening during this time of the year? What's occurring around me? Who's around me? You know, is it something that I keep gravitating towards that keeps grabbing my undivided attention that does not produce or give me the outcome that I know that I'm deserving of, that I'm worthy of? That's going to suit the cause that I know needs to be in this time, in this era. Because we don't have to keep repeating the same things over and over. We don't have to keep going through the same circumstances over and over. We can change that. You have the power and the ability to do so. And it's up to you. But you got to recognize and understand, where is this undivided attention coming from? Okay? Where is this noise coming from? Where is the sound coming from? Where is the movement coming from? It's the interference. It's a mixture of things. Or sometimes it can just be one thing. And I'll keep going because I'm not going to be long before you today. So the things that fight for your attention, they may not demand it. Remember, they may not demand it. In Matthew chapter 13, verse 7 and 22 in particular, it talks about the thorns that come up and choke out the word. Listen, you are a word. And a word is just something that God spoke into creation, into being. And not only did he speak it into creation, into being, but he also created it to do and to become a certain fashion, desire, and design in this world, according to Jeremiah 29 and 11, the purpose and the plan in which he has for you. So if we don't watch out and be careful for those thorns, then guess what? That word is choked out. Okay. And then you can't fulfill whatever it is that you desire and that you're designed to fulfill and purposeful, rightfully to fulfill. So don't let them choke you out. And when I say them, it can be a number of things. I've already talked about that. It could be a number of things, a sound, anything, a disturbance, people, situations, circumstances, and even yourself. Okay. It could be something that you've been devoting your time to that has you consumed in one area that you no longer need to be consumed in that area. Okay. It's taking up time, matters at hand that you need to be attaining to. So the cares of the world, riches and unfruitfulness, these are things that come up to choke out, the life in which you are to produce in this season. So adhere to the plans and the visions and the goals of God for you in your life, that you may be fruitful and that you may multiply and that you may produce whatever it is that you are working at to produce, okay? And know that whatever you produce, there is purpose in that, and then there's greater purpose in that. Are we living out our true purpose? Are we really taking notice into what we're doing in this time in a world that has an attention deficit disorder right now? Dysfunction, chaos, confusion, division, all around. But that does not have to include you, okay? So your maturity, it lies in your ability in staying the course. As we go along in life and as we are doing certain things, we mature. We become more aware of us, number one, of our surroundings, of our being, and then situations that we're in and or may not need to be in. Okay, it may have been suitable for yesterday, but for today, I'm beyond that. I've grown past that. That no longer meets a need for me. That no longer suits me. I no longer wear that well. Whatever the case may be. And these things don't necessarily have to be something that is bad. It could just be something that you have outgrown. You've matured from, okay? So, static affects your course and the ability for you to grow right. And I don't know about you, but the purpose in life for any of us, for all of us, even when you think about infants, and even before children are born, there are stages of growth, stages to growth. Before they come out of the womb, there has to be certain things developed. Their organs must be right. Otherwise, when they come out, there's a struggle, there's a fight to even live the life in which they rightfully have. So as adults, we have to continue to grow, because if we don't grow, we become stagnant. And in stagnation, there is no production of anything good. So, I want you to hear me when I say that, it's not to say that stagnation is a bad thing, because we learn from everything. But we learn from things to keep repeating these things, to learn how to understand how to overcome and how to be developed properly in the things that we do go through, okay? So, static, it can come out of nowhere, even when you're asleep. Disturbances can happen even while you're sleeping, okay? So static it can be subtle. Sometimes it can be abrupt, okay? While other times you can sense and you can feel the build up of something coming. Okay, you might not can put your finger on it, but you can sense and feel the buildup of it. And you know the sound which you should hear is fading out and it's becoming distorted. Because guess what? That's what static is. Static is a distortion in a sound that we were once able to hear clearly. A voice that we were once able to hear clearly. Instructions that we were once running well in. And then all of a sudden, abruptly, or subtly, here comes a static, here comes a noise, here comes the interference, here comes things that are messing up what our ability to be able to hear and know and understand what is the good and perfect will that is before us right now. Some things we have to set aside in order to get things done right now. So that means we got to learn how to prioritize in our lives and around our lives, and what we allow in our lives to not take us off course, okay? So let me say that again. Other times you can sense and feel the buildup, and you know the sound in which you should hear is fading out and it's becoming distorted. So how do we get rid of static? I wasn't going to tell you about it and not give you a solution. Now, this may or may not work for you, but whatever works for you, you need to figure that out. But one thing you can do is unplug. Unplug. So let's say you got a radio going and it's set on a channel, but then all of a sudden you begin to hear other channels fading in, other voices fading in. It may be other people speaking. It may be other music coming in, and then you're hearing two sounds. What does that sound like? It certainly is not clear. It's distorted, and then it's confusing. I don't know about you, but if more than one person is talking at one time, that's confusion. There's no order in that. There's no alignment in that. There's no agreement in that. So then what happens? It becomes distorted. So what can you do? Now you can unplug that radio. You can unplug that device. And you're the device in which I'm talking about right now, mechanical device, which you can just unplug. How do you unplug, Rosie? Guess what? You simply pull away. You draw back and you retreat into a place of you where you know it's going to be a place where you can hear better, you can rest, you can figure out what happened. What brought all of that noise? What brought the static? What brought the confusion? What brought the distortion? So unplug, change the channel. That's another thing you can do. Talking about a radio, when the distortion begin to come in and static begin to come in on a radio, guess what? You can adjust that dial. And when you adjust the dial, you can go from one channel to the next channel. You may have been listening to one set of music and you can go listen to something else. You know, contemporary, whatever. If you want to change it, you can change it. You have the ability to change it. But we got to be careful with change because everything that comes in is not good for us. Talking about static this morning and sound. So we got to be careful. So change the dial. You're the dial. You have that right. You have the authority. You got the freedom to change the dial. Simply move it whichever direction it needs to be moved in. But guess what? There is on a ship, the rudder is the smallest part of that ship, but it controls the movement of that ship. And so know who's the rudder of your life, okay? Now the creator is the creator of my life. And so when my dial needs to be changed, in order for me to know which direction to go, I want to get that from God, okay? And then I use the information that he's given me already, the things that I've learned and I've grown through, I've matured through, because guess what? This is about maturity. And I use those things and apply it to the circumstance situation that he may have me in right now. But even in that, I'm still listening because I know that there's more instructions, further instructions. Okay, so the methodology, it may change, but the message never change. Okay, but the methodologies does. And in purpose, there are many messages when it comes to that and many methodologies. Okay, and when I say methods, it all goes back and ties back to the main message. Okay, about that Jeremiah 29:11 purpose and plan that God has for you and I. So we can unplug, we can change the channel, we can readjust the dial. The dials are the channels in your life which works for you. Talked about that. You got to figure out what works for you. And if you don't know that by now, then let's stop and let's do that. Okay. And how do you do that? You get before the source. Okay. And he'll show you what's going to work best for you. They are known and they will be proven. I know what works for Rosie, but even in those things, sometimes it does take more. When I was younger, I used to be like, man, does it take all of that? My goodness. And guess what I found out as I got older and as I began to live my life and try to do it the same way? Yeah, Rose, it's going to take something new. It's going to take something different. You can't keep doing the same things over and over and over and expect different results. That's insanity. But in order for you to get the different results, Rosie, the results that you need, the results that are promised to you, the yeses and the amens, you got to do it totally different. So then guess what? In that difference, it takes more. It's going to require more. And sometimes you won't have those seasons of that where it does. But the times that it does, guess what? Put in the work. Put in the effort. Put in whatever is required. And what does that look like for you? Whatever it is, it may be you going back to school. It may be you taking more training on your jobs. It may be you silencing your mouth and sitting back, listening and observing and taking in more of what's being given to you and delegated to you and learning, how can I do this better? How more effective could I be in what I'm doing now to learn a new strategy, a new way? Because there's more than one way to do it. I promise you there is. And this is what get people to be able to be elevated, to be sought out, to be found. And then the other people, it's like you were running well, but who hindered you? What came along? What static came in and interfered with the purpose and the plan and the goal in which you were aligned to and what you were designed for and the one that you were running for? You were running, but something hindered you. You ran well, but something got in your way. What static got in your way? What interference got in your way? What thing came and got in the pathway to cause your movement to be moved? Your sound to no longer be clear, to where there was confusion, there was doubt, there was double-mindedness, there were wavering. You begin to waver, you begin to doubt yourself, and not only yourself, but you begin to doubt the plan that you knew was rightfully for you. It created a lack of movement and action and change, which was taking place in you. Listen, There is absolutely nothing wrong with change. We're all to change and evolve. Change is beautiful. Change is good. Just like we've entered into this new season of fall. I love the colors of fall. I love the air of fall. I love the essence of fall. There is shedding when it comes to fall. The leaves change the colors. They bloom. They're so beautiful. Guess what? Beauty. It's not external for you and I. Beauty is internal. You hear me? Get that. Beauty is internal. So if your internal is not being worked on, and I'm talking about our souls and our spirits, our emotions, our thoughts, our desires, what we think, how we feel. If we can't get a hold of those things and understand them better, we can never evolve into the change and the maturity in which God designed for us. And when you allow that beauty to take place inwardly, that outward beauty, oh my God, that's just an enhancement of who you are. Okay? So in this process, in the journey of life, understand that static will come to try to interfere, to try to cause a change and mixture of sounds and signals for you to be on the right. It's an exertion of force. It comes trying to force its way, maneuver its way into your life, into your ears where you're able to hear clearly, into your sight where you're able to see clearly, into your words where you're able to speak what you know that you know that you know. It comes to take all that away from you. It comes to strip that away from you. It comes to paralyze you, to grip you, and to set you down. You were running well, but who hindered? And if you get hindered, become hindered, guess what? Unplug, change the dial, listen to a different frequency, and there's only one, in my opinion, but then God will give you things that's going to help you to work, that's going to be beneficial for you, to help you in your seasons of growth. Growth is beautiful because you're beautiful. God made nothing ugly. He didn't give no empty promises. His promises are yes and amen, and we are suitable for each and every one of them. So let me move on further, and I'm getting ready to close up, okay? So again, unplug, change the channel, readjust the dial. The dials are the channels in your life which works for you. Make sure it works for you. Don't be mimicking what others do. Let it work for you. Tell God, Lord, I need to know. I need to understand, Father, you created me. So creator, master of the universe, master of everything, Lord of everything, king of all things, of me. What works for me? What do you have for me? What is my assignment? How do you want to align me in this season and area of my life? What am I lacking, God, that you need to instill in me that's going to help me to move from one juncture to the next, God? Because the assignments of you are never lacking. They're never dull. They're never empty. And they're always promising, God. And you have my best interest at heart. Others may not, but God, you have my best interest at heart. So Lord, I'm going to trust what you know that I don't know. I'm going to trust what you understand that I don't understand, Father, because your ways and your thoughts are so much higher than mine, Lord. So I'm going to trust in you, God. I'm going to entrust everything I know and that I don't know. We believe, God, but Lord, help our unbeliefs. Because guess what? Life and situations, it's happened and it's gonna happen. And sometimes in the occurrences of life happening, guess what? It can bring doubt. It can bring measures of fear. I'll say that again. It can bring doubt and it can bring measures of fear. But I want to encourage you in those measures and times of doubt and fear, keep moving. Let God show you what's going to help you to move from point A to point B. Okay, let him show you what's going to take you from the house on the corner to the house on the hills. Okay, let him show you what's going to take you from being just an employee to being a supervisor, a manager, a business owner. Let him show you what's going to take you from being silent to being able to communicate effectively. You hear me? Without any speech impediments, without any fear, without any doubt. And it won't be in you, but it'll be in him, the God in you. Let him show you, because he can and he will. Okay? But you got to trust what he knows. Trust what he understands. His wisdom, his knowledge. It works for you. And he wants to show you in this season. So they work for you because they're built for you. They're designed to work for you. So certain features work for us, and it's up to us to know how and when, but most importantly, when to dial into them. We got to learn how to dial in. We got to learn how to get to the right measures for us. So simply put, I'm gonna wrap it up. Static is anything that competes for your attention that doesn't deserve your attention. I'll say that one more time. Static is anything that will compete for your attention that does not deserve your attention. So if you're going through life and you try to figure out what is a noise, what is a static, these are things that are competing for your attention, your undivided attention, that does not deserve your attention. And by now, depending on where you're at in life and what you've gone through in life and your age, and it doesn't even have to do with age, because even children learn. They can touch a fire and they be like, oh, I can't touch that no more because that hurt me. That burnt me. That left a scar on me. That left a residue on me. I had to take some time out to nurture that. Okay? So in life, what has hurt you? What has hindered you? What has scarred you? What has burnt you? Have we learned from those things? So in essence, to go back and keep repeating certain things that does not deserve your attention, that, my friends, would be static. My name is Rosie Thompson, and I am the owner of RKT-LIFE Purpose Coaching. Life Purpose Coaching is what I do because God called me to it. He's gifted me to do it, okay? He's endowed me to do it. And what you see, guess what? It has been into practice. It has been into purpose long before now, okay? Certain things are just coming together now and has been for the last several years, but it's all coming together for the good, okay? And so, again, I have on my page 4 different plans for clients, taking on new clients, female only, adults and teens. There are 4 plans, one for 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, and then 6 month plans, okay? And there's an assessment that I do. I'm just not going to do anything just to be doing anything. It's not about the money, because even in these new plans, the new plans I'm offering, they are at 50% discount. And the price is included on that plan. The assessment that we'll go through to where I make sure I'm able to meet your needs, not according to what I think and what I feel, but what God knows you need. That assessment fee has been waived. So that's even discounted off, okay? But it's to understand and to know in what way God is going to use me to help you to purpose and coach you through that, whatever particular area that is in your life. And let me say this. He always gets to the root of things. It's one thing to apply a Band-Aid to something or to brush over something. But guess what? You will revisit that. So what he does with me is that we get to the root of things that helps connect dots, bring enlightenment, understanding, and development, maturity, maturation for you. Okay. And I support you in that. Okay. So you can look on the website. Please message me through the website and not through Facebook Messenger. If you have a comment, you can always comment on my news feed, and I will answer any questions that you have on there as well. And I look forward to coming before you on the lives. I do content creation. You can look on my website and see a little bit more what I do. And before I close out, I want to let you all know that I'm a self-published author. I have 4 books, and one of them is only an ebook, but these 3 are in paperback, and this one is hardback, and they're also all in ebook as well. You can get all 3 of these on Amazon.com and Barnes and Nobles. And then on Amazon.com, the children's book is only an ebook, but on Barnes and Nobles, it is in hardback. And then my last book, ebook, is only on Amazon in ebook, okay? And it's called God Teach Me to Stay Out of Your Way, Sir. And it's about the Abraham blessings, how to decree and declare and prophetically pray those over you, your life, generationally, okay, and everything you're connected to. So I hope I've shared something with you all to help you in this journey of your life and this season of your life, and that you allow it to bring purpose. You allow the growth to bring enlightenment of things that have been causing a hindrance for you, becoming staticky for you, interference for you, disturbances for you, the things that we talked about when it comes to sound and static. Unplug, adjust the dial, reset, and get back at it. Okay? So have an amazing week and an amazing day. And God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in.